Welcome at the new edition of the Market Reporters with my colleague Martin, like every week, and myself, Casper. Every week we look back on the stock markets, on the economy and what happened, and especially what were the most hot topics of our clients, of our investors. Yeah. Martin, you will start.
Yeah. Well, one of the most touched topics this week, I think, was the Dutch company Galapagos.
Yes.
Because as we're still a Dutch bank, we're part Danish, but we're a Dutch bank.
But it was world news.
And it's world news, absolutely, because they have a big collaboration with Gilead Sciences. They have a medicine which is called filgotinib, and it's basically medicine that cures the effects of rheumatic people. So it's very important that cure comes through. They had approval in Europe for that by the EMA, and then it went for approval in the United States, and they didn't approve it. So that basically means that the medicine will not come into the market for the next year and a half, which is of course a big...
Do you know why they didn't approve it?
Because of the side effects. They were not convinced about the tests that were done about the side effects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the main reason. And what does that for effect? The price was at 160 euros.
Yes.
On Tuesday, 160, 165. On Wednesday it opened about 30% lower. And when you look into the stock itself, it has a current cash flow of about 86 euros. So that means the current pipeline, including filgotinib, is only valued at 30 euros. And then you can say easily, or you may dare to say that is very, very cheap for everything that they have, yeah, and what they still can bring. So interesting to follow this stock, I think, for the next coming months to see what's going to happen.
And I think also was in the news last Wednesday, the S&P 500.
Yeah, they hit through the roof.
Yeah, and it is really strange, really difficult to understand. In this crisis, in the Corona crisis, that the S&P 500, so the 500 largest stocks of the US, reaches the highest level ever.
Yeah, with everything that's going on.
Yeah, we talk about it, I think, a lot, but it's still strange. And that's also... as I think one economist from, I don't know, JP Morgan or so said that I think we have to rethink about the connection between the stock markets and the economy, because nowadays the companies are so big and they are not related to one economy, and also you can also see it a little bit by the 5 biggest stocks from the S&P 500.
Do you think, now as a question, that maybe the stock market and the analysis of the stock market is maybe a little bit old-fashioned? That we compare it always with what we know, what we've always learned, and this, and price earning, and economy, and inflation, and all the elements that influence the market. Maybe is that thinking, because companies function a lot different than 10 years ago.
I think we can also rethink because about some indices. We are completely focusing on the Dow, on the S&P, on the DAX, etc. And the S&P 500, we say, okay, it's a bigger index, 500 biggest companies of the US, but the top 5 shares,
Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and Google,
Amazon, yeah.
FAANG,
the FANG, yeah, and they are good for 20% of the 500. So what does that?
About the S&P 5 and the 495.
Yeah,
that's basically the thing.
Yeah, and those big companies, they are, especially in this time, of course, with everything is about digital, and they are pushing the market up. So I think investors should not focus that much on only those indices, and also focus more on individual indices based on different sectors. And there are a lot of indices.
How many indices? You mentioned millions, no?
Yeah, there are so many indices. Yeah. We can create our own index if we want. We can do that. We will think about it. To talk a little bit more about those big ones, Apple. They're now worth more than $2,000 billion, also highest level ever.
Yeah.
And from Amazon, I think it's more easy to understand. They earn a lot from the cloud. That's increasing, of course, and also during this crisis, people are ordering more online. But Apple is still 60% plus
iPhone business.
iPhone, and with how many new unemployed people were there this week?
Yeah, last week we were a little bit positive. No, we thought it was
Yeah.
we were going to went below 1 million the
Yeah.
jobless claims, and now
Yeah.
we're again above 1 million.
Yeah.
So we're still not breaking this.
And with a
trend.
company like Apple, that's 60% of the revenues is based on sales of new phones, with a lot of unemployment people around the world, especially in the US and in Europe, where they have big market shares. It's really difficult to
It's
understand.
difficult to explain to people.
Difficult to understand. Yeah.
It's the hope based on data and everything that they know about you.
Yeah, and if you look at the estimations of the growth of the per share,
it's also not that exciting.
it's not that fancy. The good thing about Apple is, of course, that they have a lot of cash. In difficult times, it's always good
to
as a
have.
person, as a company, to have
Yeah,
cash.
it's interesting what they're going to do, because maybe we're wrong, or maybe I am wrong, but how much further can you develop an iPhone? You can make a better picture, a nicer picture. I mean, I'm really
Yeah, but your eyes have they can only see some quality, and
I
then it
haven't
stops.
used it for a year, and I'm still finding out little thingies, and that maybe is my fault, because I don't read the manual, but there's no manual with it. But they might gonna work with like renewal programs, or like you can pimp your old phone. I don't know, but there must be huge. They don't really break.
Yeah, and
if you take care of it, they don't break down.
Now, and if you compare that Apple with another company like Tesla, there's still a lot of development possible, and that will happen. But that's another 2000 figure.
Yeah.
They are through the $2,000 per share.
It's unexplainable.
Yeah.
There was no news.
Yeah, they went up 6.5%.
6.5%.
Yeah.
You can't explain it to people.
No, and we talked about it before, this morning, and we had a young person that came in and they wanted to start investing, and we are always helping and happy with it, because we think that you must start on an early age.
Yeah.
And the person said, "Yeah, I want to start investing, and I want to buy Tesla."
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So it's not about I want to learn to invest. I want to buy a Tesla.
Yeah, but the same thing. What I explained, a lady that wants to transfer a couple of €100,000 of Tesla shares, and then because her current bank doesn't allow her to work on leverage,
To borrow money.
she's going to do that and buy extra shares with CFDs on a leverage basis. So that's really like speculating.
Those things can be a sign of a bubble. Can be, eh?
Yeah, it's like when Bitcoin went to the 20,000, everybody said this is going to go to 100,000.
But on the other hand, if Tesla announced next week that they have a new battery that will last for 20 years and you can drive 1,000 kilometers on it,
but also exactly, and the software.
Yes.
Of that you don't need to drive yourself.
Yeah. And about cars, about some really important parts of a car, the tires. What's the biggest tire producer in the US?
I didn't check.
Is
that one? Yeah. Okay, because Trump was this week busy on getting new tires for his Beast, for his limousine. No, he said basically don't buy Goodyear tires because Goodyear didn't allow the staff in the factories to wear caps with "Make America Great Again." So he tweeted, "Don't buy Goodyear tires," and he sent his car to the car change. How do you call that in English?
Garage.
In the Netherlands it's called Quick Fit. Maybe here we have the Norauto. So he sent his Beast to Norauto to get the tires changed for Bridgestone tires, I think.
Yeah.
So and that
stock went down.
Stock went down about 4%. Goodyear, what they say? They said.
That's something that they will deal with it.
But that is not because of political. We just don't want this on the working floor.
No. But after that, the first reaction was, so we never allow political statements on the work floor. But after that, because Trump is so powerful, so you even when it's not right, you don't have a choice. You have to do something, otherwise your business is in trouble.
It's in trouble. Yeah. Absolutely.
Also, a lot of the dollar became a little bit stronger last week. Yeah. Gold is getting a little bit weaker, and that's always a little bit in the same discussion as inflation. A lot of people talk about inflation, upcoming inflation, and also it's in the news a lot. Do you have an opinion, or do you want to share
Well,
some important opinions from
I
others?
thought about it, which I still need to crystallize. But I think, I mean, the world it became really small because of the fact that you could take a plane from Amsterdam, it didn't cost nearly anything, 500-600 euros, or from Malaga you can even fly via Moscow to whatever South Asian country, and
One way.
No, Casper. It's you always buy. Maybe not. You don't know where to. You go to the travel agency probably here, but I buy them online.
Oh.
And if you look online, you can buy tickets very cheap. You could buy tickets very cheap. And
No, they are cheaper now.
Yeah, but you don't know if you can go, so I don't buy tickets now.
Okay.
But I think due to the fact that we are in a situation that things will be possibly, you see it in America, make America great again, production inside. Maybe that's going to happen in China, in Europe, in other countries. I think now a pair of shoes is made in China. It might be Portugal is one of the largest shoe producers in the world in the past. They are not anymore. Maybe they will go back to Portugal, but that eventually also cause that production prices is higher in Europe than it is in Asia. So in Bangladesh or in India. So I think that might, if this coronavirus epidemic keeps going on, that restrictions on. Also think about delivery. If they can't send goods, or it's too expensive maybe to send goods because of quality controls, whether it's infected, I don't know, whatever sort of things. But then all those checks, somebody needs to pay for that, no? Mm-hmm. It's the same with banks, that they have compliance regime.
But on the other hand, of course, the tech industry is growing fast.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of new robots. And the big goal of that is, of course, to lower cost price.
That's 100% true. That's 100% true.
I think inflation is always difficult because you have, as a person, you have always a different feeling with inflation in comparison with your official figures. And if there is an inflation of 3% or 4%, that's a lot. So you know, at the end of the year, you will lose. Your money is worth less 3 or 4% at least. And people, I think people, if you compare that, for example, with ideas of people from 20 years ago, people are more aware of that nowadays.
I think so, yeah.
And the people that have the money.
Then there was real inflation. There was inflation 5-6%.
Yeah, yes.
In 91, I looked in, when I was born, 1983, you had an inflation of 6%.
Yeah. That's high. So people are aware, I think, more of the inflation figures, and the people with, on the other hand, people are saving more in the western part of Europe during the last months. So the mountain of money that's doing nothing is also increasing, but I think that's more like the people with a little bit of saving money, and the people with more money, they are investing. That's why the house prices. I saw figures today of the Netherlands in July went up again, and you also see it, of course, with the stock markets also based on inflation and based on, of course, that's hand in hand, zero interest rates.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely.
And gold, that's why gold's in the news all the time.
Yeah.
So I think elections, US, will be an important topic on the agenda of Trump. I think it's top priority. So everything he does for the next months,
next 2 months,
will be in his strategy for the next. For the next.
Then you got the China deal again on the table, I think, for the next coming days.
And it's still strange that we in Europe are talking so much about elections.
Yeah, we saw it in 2016. I remember that we came in the office at 8:30, and the market of futures were like 10% down. And then Trump came out, so proud that he won, with his wife behind him and his little boy. And then while he was talking, the futures started going up. And what did we say? Well, it's actually not a bad speech that he has here.
No.
But it's also the moment, of course, because it's quite exciting. But it was not a bad speech.
No, that was.
But what you said as well, and I agree with you on that one, that Biden did a good move to get Harris on board. No?
Yeah. I think it's a strong duo now. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you look at the polls, he's still.
Yeah, but Trump came from far, and what we're going to do
every week,
we're going to follow it a little bit, and then we try to see what Trump is doing in the US that will support his strategy.
Absolutely.
Because that's unfortunately it's really important for the rest of the world. Okay.
100%. Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
watching. Thank you. Have a nice weekend and hope to see you next week.